we're a smaller program. The deans and the leadership here at Notre Dame have made a conscious decision to keep our class size right around, really our program size, around 300 students, right? Across all the 1-year, 2-year program. That's really important to us. And I think that generates a certain type of atmosphere here in the program that's very unique. And so I wanted you guys to talk a little bit about, what did that mean to you to be a member of such a small, tight-knit community here at Notre Dame? Carolyn?
So I would say within 48 hours of arriving here and starting orientation at the beginning of the program, I had already realized what a benefit it was going to be part of such a small program. I was already making friends, and within a month I had made a great group of friends just because I knew everyone in my class. I mean, we were such a small class. All of our professors know all of us. They know all of our names. They know all of our personal needs. They're always there to help us because they have more time to be with each of us. And just working in small groups as well with those same classmates that you know so well is such a benefit because you're able to, on a daily basis, be with the same group of people, really get to know them, really dive deep into whatever you're working on. And it's just such a great experience to have been able to get so close to my class so quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Chad?
So I think that what's interesting about this school as opposed to other schools is that you kind of get the best of both worlds in that you have a small community on campus at Mendoza that you're able to interact with and really know everyone in your class, but also as opposed to some of the other business schools, it's really part of campus. It's on campus, the undergrads use a similar facility or all in the same building, and so the campus really seems to adopt the MBAs as opposed to other places where it's kind of a separate entity. So you're part of a bigger theme that is Notre Dame in addition to being a Mendoza College of Business alum.
Dave?
The small program also it extends outside of the classroom to the family and support that you receive from your classmates, and that happened on campus as well as in our time since we've left Notre Dame, where the community that you build transcends just the university and the campus, but extends out into our professional lives. But still, back when we were here on campus, I struggle to think of a class where I didn't have access to the professor to go to their office hours to ask them questions and really bring that learning outside of the classroom into every different aspect of life on campus.
Sure. I mean, we definitely put an incredible amount of focus on having you work in teams. There's plenty of opportunities to engage with your classmates professionally, academically, socially. So, of course, it's a big part of the experience while you're here. One thing I would ask is how did that experience of those small groups impact you once you left in terms of your professional performance or development? Did you see a benefit from having had so much teamwork? Nitin?
I think business today, Andrew, is really about relationships. I mean, I work in a global role where I talk to people in Latin America, talk to people in Singapore, and a lot of times you have never met these people. So having the teamwork experience we had at Notre Dame kind of brings, bringing different culture along. I mean, I can't talk to a guy in Singapore and start talking about Notre Dame football because he's not going to get that, right? Sure. So I think you need to find common ground to connect with people. And as much as corporate America, as you work harder each day, you want to have some fun at work. And I think, and having that teamwork at Notre Dame, where you're not only working with them, but you're also going out and hang out with those people, kind of gives you the advantage that when you talk to people all over the world, you kind of build a relationship with them. So working becomes much more fun.
Sure. What were some of the fun things that you guys did while you were here? I mean, what stands out to you as particularly positive experiences?
Well, I think one of the great experiences of the many experiences I had here at the university was the opportunity I had to participate with the Center for Social Concerns. And here's an example of sort of stepping out of the Mendoza environment, at least for a short period of time. It was a class. You get to study about, in my case, it was a half semester study of the Gullah people that reside in the South Carolina coastal sea islands. And so you talk about it, you talk about some of the challenges that community faces, and then you actually spend the fall break in there, you do some community service in there in South Carolina. You do some community service with these groups, and you just become immersed in the culture. And I think it's important to communicate to anyone who is considering the University of Notre Dame that, look, you get a little more than just Mendoza College of Business for the price of admission. I mean, you get access to all the other things on campus, and that's just an example.
Dave?
I think the experience on campus, but also the opportunity to get off campus. One of the opportunities was our trip to Shanghai, and as we went over to China and experienced internationally exposure to some of the business aspects of the global marketplace today. And that's part of the program, but we had fun outside of the program as well. We, by our initiative, we put together, just of our class, a bus trip up to southwestern Michigan vineyards and visited 5 vineyards and came back, and you develop that bond with other people in the program to have fun inside the classroom and outside of the classroom.
I guess I'll be the one to throw the obvious out there, but obviously the Notre Dame football weekends. You know, it's something that the football team and the ability to spend tailgate time with the rest of your classmates brings camaraderie, and it's something that the group rallies around. And part of fundamentally what creates the strong alumni network that we have is that we have a football team and that we do get together for those experiences.
What were some? I mean, you know, what were some of the networking benefits of those weekends, right? I mean, beyond just being fun, did you meet folks? I mean, were you able to take advantage of those, you know, not just personally for fun, but also professionally?
I think maybe if not right at the minute. I think, you know, when people come here for tailgates or for the game, I don't think it's right to probably approach them and talk about business. But I think what it really gives you is, you know, if on the Monday after you're talking to an alum who has been out in the business world for 20 years and very successful, talking about the game, talking about the atmosphere really brings them back to campus. And I think that's what, as Chad said, a lot of people remember, you know, what it means to be a Notre Dame student, what it means to go to a football game, and you have a common bond, you know. So he could be much more successful than you, he could have, you know, 20 more experience from you, but now you have a common bond where you can connect.
Sure, absolutely.
More practically, also, I would say there's nothing like a Notre Dame football weekend. And I'm in sales now, and I've brought sales clients back for games. I've had my bosses, different vice presidents of my division come back for games. And just the ability to share that experience with them is something that, you know, probably could give me a leg up in the future.